The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning, 92,000 fined for a big social event, hundreds of attendees partying without masks. Health officials say they're reviewing virus transmissibility for those fully vaccinated. As the government says, the vaccine in the country is only open to Bahamians and permanent residents. Plus, in our discussion today, we are talking with Dr. Nakia Forbes about where we are in the fight against COVID. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day. It's the start of the new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. Also this morning in Morning Blend Business, we are going to be talking with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation about the opportunities that home porting will present for the Bahamas. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, police shutting down an event attended by hundreds of people at Bahama Barrels, a property owned by Grey Cliff and leased to entertainer Julian Believe Thompson, and issued a citation to the event's organizer for $92,000 for violation of the COVID-19 emergency order. That was confirmed by Police Commissioner Paul Roll, that event on Sunday night. The order prohibits social gatherings in New Providence with organizers subjected to a $2,000 fine and $300 for each person in attendance. Commissioner Roll saying that 300 people attended that event on Sunday. Thompson denied yesterday, saying that he had anything to do with the large gathering, videos of which were widely shared on social media. A representative for Grey Cliff said the restaurant had nothing to do with the event either and asked the Nassau Guardian to direct all inquiries to Thompson, but the entertainer declined to make any statement beyond denying involvement in the event. Commissioner Roll says police also shut down an event on Sunday at an establishment on Athol Island. Videos of that event depicted a floating bar surrounded by boats and showed people leaving their vessel to stop the gathering. Videos from the Bahama Barrels event on West Hill Street sparked outrage and disbelief in some circles for its blatant violation of COVID-19 protocols. That event coming as the country, mainly New Providence, battles a COVID-19 surge with nearly 200 cases reported by health officials on the weekend alone. In the circulated video clips Revelers are seen gathering close together without masks as music blared from speakers, many in attendance shouting, "We partying all night," as they jubilantly crammed the space. In other news, the National COVID Consultation Committee Vaccine Committee is reviewing virus transmissibility for fully vaccinated individuals following the recent change in entry requirements to the country. That's according to committee chair Dr. Merceline Dalregis. As of May 1st, fully vaccinated individuals will not be required to present a negative RT-PCR test to enter the country. Dalregis asked yesterday about healthcare workers' concerns regarding the possible risk fully vaccinated individuals may still pose for the country, which is already grappling with a third wave of COVID-19. Dalregis is saying the committee is reviewing the transmissibility. She says the new guidelines from the CDC and what's coming out of Europe state that once you're fully vaccinated, you are protected, and that the transmissibility of the virus, they haven't documented that it doesn't occur, but it does not produce significant illness. And due to limited supply, the COVID-19 vaccine in the country will only be available to Bahamian citizens and permanent residents over the age of 18 and residents in the previously identified groups. The National Vaccine Consultative Committee last night noting that the previously stated groups, healthcare workers, people over 50, people with disabilities, members of the uniformed branches, teachers and staff of schools, hospitality workers, restaurant and retail workers, students and athletes studying or competing abroad, homebound physically disabled residents, members of the clergy, and accredited media. Proof of citizenship, permanent residency status, or work ID will be required at the vaccination site. And the National Election Debate Series Planning Committee of the University of the Bahamas saying that invitation remains open to the FNM if it wishes to participate in their upcoming debate series. The committee said 7 of the 8 invited political parties have agreed to participate in the debate organized by UB and Eyewitness News parent company, Verizon Media. The PLP has agreed to participate in the series, however, the FNM said it will not participate because the event does not meet certain international standards. Overseas, India recorded more than 320,000 new cases of coronavirus infection as a grim surge of illness and death weighed on the country today, and its sinking healthcare system started getting much-needed support from foreign nations. Today's 323,144 new infections raised India's total past 17.6 million, behind only the United States. It ended a 5-day streak of recording the largest single-day increases in any country throughout the pandemic. But the decline likely reflects lower weekend testing rather than reduced spread of the virus. The health ministry also reported another 2,771 deaths in the past 24 hours, with roughly 115 Indians succumbing to the disease every hour. The latest fatalities push India's deaths to 197,894, behind the U.S., Brazil, and Mexico. Experts continue to say these figures are probably an undercount. A foreign ministry spokesperson tweeting photos today of the first shipment of medical aid India received from Britain. It includes 100 ventilators and 95 oxygen concentrators. Other nations, including the U.S., Germany, Israel, and Pakistan, have also promised medical aid. The countries have said they will supply oxygen, diagnostic tests, treatments, ventilators, and protective gear to help India's crisis, which the World Health Organization has called beyond heartbreaking. In sports, Gabriel Curtis, the older of the long-distance brother tandem who showed flashes of brilliance at recent Carifta Championships, turning it up at a level at his most recent outing. Curtis, the 20-year-old, breaking a long-standing national record in the men's 10,000 meters, running 32.11 in an invitational event at the Virginia Challenge in Charlottesville, Virginia. The Florida State University freshman was 20th overall, running against top-notch collegiate talent in the NCAA Division I athletics. Curtis, a two-time medalist at Grifton, said he felt good about the run and is looking forward to continued improvement. It was his first official 10,000-meter run, and he's about 3 minutes off the Olympic qualifying time. Read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a frontal boundary that's weakening across the central Bahamas, while a strong high-pressure system builds over the area. Beachgoers should be alert for possible rip currents along north and easterly shores. For all areas today, your forecast calls for partly to mostly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions, with an isolated shower, becoming fair and mild with a passing shower tonight. For boaters, small craft should exercise caution. Winds northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. Right now, temperature-wise, we are at about 74 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. You can still get a good view of that amazing moon out there, though. High temperatures today getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a minute.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
The best place to get a new iPhone is at BTC. Make the iPhone 12 mini yours for just $199. That's big savings to go with our sweet postpaid value of unlimited local calls, international minutes, roaming data and minutes, plus all the data you need. Stream, share, and stay connected on the best LTE network when you switch to BTC. Visit a store to sign up today and get the iPhone 12 mini for just $199. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. You can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Join me now, Don Sargent. Good morning, Don.
Morning, Dwight.
Great to have you with us. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, still alive.
Okay, that's always a good thing. Always a good thing. We have a lot to talk about this morning. We'll give you the phone numbers in just a bit, but coming up, we've got more weather and traffic. And in our 7 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking with Dr. Nakia Forbes for the latest on where we're going with COVID, the fight against COVID in the country, the surging numbers, vaccine questions that so many people have. All of that we're going to get into this morning. And then in Morning Blend Business at 9, we are going to be talking more about home porting. We spoke about this a few weeks ago, getting your ideas, but today we're hearing from the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation about the opportunities that this presents for not just New Providence, but other islands in the Commonwealth as well. So a lot to get to this morning, but let's begin with what's in the news. And in the news, hundreds partying over the weekend, multiple events, but this one is a big one getting a lot of attention and a big fine now as well, $92,000 fine. No one is owning up to whose event it was. And some interesting things being said by the attendees about how they got there. Don, you weren't there, right?
No, I try not to win the Darwin Award.
Oh, okay. All right. So apparently this happened Sunday night, and I mean, my goodness. People were so confused about when this was. They said, well, this had to have been 2018 or something because there's not a mask in sight. But no, apparently it was just a couple days ago. For more on this and the consequences of this right as the numbers are surging here once again in the country, people have lost all control of their senses. It is clear. Take a listen to this report from our Jared Higgs.
We partying. Video of a crowded party with hundreds of guests causing concern during the third wave. Money pull up. Yes, in the video, hundreds of people crowd a courtyard and balcony at Bahama Barrels across from the Graycliff property. Our news reached out to Graycliff, and representatives there say the Bahama Barrels property is rented to a third party, and inquiries about Sunday night should go to the third party. We tried to reach out to the party organizers by contacting the numbers on the flyers, but the people on the other end either said we had the wrong number or claimed the video was old and had nothing to do with the advertised event.
And they were telling people, like, look, the courtyard's getting crowded, y'all have to go upstairs and stuff like that, you know, for the COVID police coming to be an issue.
The guests agreed to speak to us if we disguised their voice. They say the event was kept private.
You buy the ticket, and then they give you some number to WhatsApp, and they were saying the location. So nobody knew the location of the place until they bought a ticket. And then people were also able to come, obviously, when they found out the location was, and buy tickets at the door.
That guest also says the police came and shut the party down. The video comes as the country grapples with the third wave of the virus. Hospitalizations hover at around 50, half the country's capacity, according to Minister of Health Renward Wells. But healthcare workers say they're already being stretched. This resident was shocked when we showed her video of the event.
Now, that's too much people to be at one gathering. It is ridiculous. But we have social distancing right now, and they don't look like they have on any masks. So what's going to be done about that?
The Vaccinations were recently opened up for anybody over the age of 18, demonstrating the unwillingness of many older Bahamians to take the jab. With herd immunity still a long ways off and adherence to virus rules slipping, we asked this government worker if she was worried.
Of course I'm concerned, because then people, those same people will come to where I work or the food store I attend, and what happens then?
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Well, our news.
Okay, our report from Jared Higgs there. And in this newspaper article in today's National Guardian from our Rachel Scott, there's talk about another event on Athol Island over the weekend. So we know if you drove around last night, you would see that people are out every night, wherever, on top of each other, having a blast. Nobody cares. Masks, maybe in their pockets, and the numbers are increasing. So what do we do? What's happening? I know many are going to call in to say it's enforcement. Okay, yeah, but you can't be everywhere. So at some point, every day we say this on the show, at some point you're going to have to take personal responsibility. You're going to have to say, I really wish I could go to this party, but I know this is not a good time because the numbers are going crazy again. I have to be an adult for once in my life and not be a fool. But we're not going to hear many people call in to say that. But yeah, okay. Don, what do we do?
I don't even know if enforcement is like the answer. I mean, I'm not saying it's not the answer, but like literally from the sounds of how that party was arranged, the entire intention was to avoid and skirt around enforcement and to have a party without, anybody having any idea of what's going on. So, of course, they did say supposedly that the police did eventually break up the party, but it makes you wonder how many other times has this happened, right? How many other parties have you not seen, with pictures taken and everything? And it's not as though, I don't know, man. I don't know. We're doing a lot to avoid.
You know the answer to that question.
Huh?
You know the answer to your question. It's happened.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, I guess it kind of feels a bit like prohibition, like people can't have parties, and then party event planners like, yep, bet, But that's fine, man. How much was it again, Dwight?
92,000.
You do it no more.
92,000.
Oh Lord. I don't even know if the party even made that much money. I don't think it made anywhere near that. Maybe I'm wrong, but good luck. I guess gotta sell sauce and cook out.
Well, again, I mean, it sounds like nobody knows who to give that fine to. Because everybody's pointing. It's like that Spider-Man meme, with all the different Spider-Men pointing at each other. Nobody's owning up to it. So
this is back to personal responsibility again, and people actively taking measures to skirt rules and protocols. So, what do you do in this situation? Do you just find somebody, or do you prosecute somebody to the full extent of the law? What do? Do you make an example? Do you let it slide?
I think that's what they're trying to do here. But again, who will be the example? Boy. All right,
what do you think, Dwight?
The people in attendance have to take some responsibility as well, right? Yeah, it sounds great. We all want to get, I've got a birthday coming up. I'd love to be able to do something. Can't do much at all. And what do? You have to be sensible. And this is a dangerous situation. You see the numbers are increasing. I mean, these are like, at this time last year when we saw numbers like this, we were freaking out. But everybody's very calm now. Like, oh yeah, COVID's no big deal. It's different in 2021 than 2020. People are dying again, and yet everybody's just like, oh, well, that's life. Let's move on. And maybe that's the way it needs to be. Maybe. But at what cost, right? Maybe the fines, oh, yeah, I didn't spend much money last year, so fine. Yeah, fine me, but I'm having my fun. You only live once. That is truly right. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Maybe if these people, it's supposed to be, $300 for each person in attendance, but the people in attendance don't pay it. Maybe if they did, they would change the behavior.
Yeah, I know. I think it's pretty much I don't want to say a waste of resources, but to carry that many people to court in already befuddled and overwhelmed court system. I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's practical at all. Which is why they usually go after the business owners and event planners and
Right.
DJs in some cases, right? Like we had last year, a few DJs literally got fined.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, these things keep happening, and it's not changing any behavior. So I don't know.
Well, you could do something, I guess. Individual citizens can go get drug up from the vaccine, Have you been stabbed yet, right?
That's an interesting way to put it. I'm waiting for the right time in case I have some side effects. The right time that I can, block out a couple of days to
get some sick
to
days
deal
off.
with it.
Make sure that coincide with that vacation, eh?
One weekend when I have nothing to do, right? Yeah. When I don't mind.
Whenever that weekend is,
Right,
right?
exactly.
You always have things to do.
Yeah.
You gotta do this adulting thing.
Maybe I'll take a vacation and have the first weekend be for recuperating or something. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what our listeners have to say. Give us a call. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's hear what you have to say. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
What's up?
Hi, good morning.
When you get, Mr. Strachan, let me ask you a question. You take your vaccine, yeah?
I just said no.
Mr. Strachan, I mean, you're very sharp. You're interested in the process. I mean, Mr. Strachan,
Is that what I said? I didn't say that.
Mr. Strachan,
I mean, but Dave, I don't know why are you asking. You're not going to take it. So what's the concern?
Mr. Strachan, but you saying one thing, but you're not going to read. No, you're not going to read. You're a smart fellow.
How?
Mr. Strachan. Huh?
How am I saying one thing and not doing?
You was Dwight Strachan. If you wanted to take the vaccine, you could take the vaccine ASAP. Then that's another story for another day. You're on the phone, Mr. Strachan.
I wish all of you would do all the things I tell you to do. Right? So I mean, I don't think it makes a difference whether. But anyway.
First of all, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party, I wear a mask, so that ain't go for me, okay?
Very good.
I don't let big crowds on me, okay? All right?
Wonderful.
Mr. Strachan, now, first of all, right? The commissioner on his job, they'll do their job, but for God's sake, man, don't pick on Julian Belief, okay? Because people in the whole fort like to keep partying every night. But Mr. Strachan, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
You do not let the air for them get away with not debating. Every day,
we're back to
every
that.
day that could be a topic of the day.
Mm-hmm.
These people cannot get away with not debating the forces state in this country. Human ministers need to debate. Okay? They need to debate. Do you agree?
I agree, yes.
So keep it every day. Tell Carl Kalma, call Carl Kalma. I mean, you had the forces they run over it on the debate last time.
Well, we spoke about all this yesterday, yes.
But the man trying to insult Professor Chris Curry.
Well, no one's falling for what they're saying. So. No one's buying the nonsense they were shoveling out yesterday.
Tell them they get debate. Women people, listen to my voice now. When these people come here, run them with your yard. Question Marvin, question Frankie Cameron, question all them.
All right, let's keep focused. We're talking about the COVID stuff.
People partying live key every day, man. Tell them go on live key. The same way on break the gate down to and tell them, okay?
Wow. Okay.
You don't believe alone, okay?
All right. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning.
Caller JT Voice along with you and Dwight, Don.
Hi.
Don, pardon me, Dwight. May I give a condolence before I make my conversation?
Sure.
I would like to say a condolence to Chris Grant, that's my coach Chris Grant and his sister Donna, and the passing of their dad. Also, Dwight, my first piece of contribution, here it is. If only Bahamians and people that have rights to live in the Bahamas going to get it open for them to get the vaccine, right? What happens is those people that are here illegal would mixing up with the Bahamians and mixing up with the illegal people. Okay, my other point is, right, when it comes to that party to do, right, I hope government makes some money because they can always find out who are the party pertaining to holding the property in possession until they find the person. Too much slackness are happening in this country, and only the poor people are paying. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
I think to answer the question about the vaccine, in order to register for the vaccine, which you can, what is it, vax.gov.bs. Part of the registration process is that you give either your passport number, which they cross-reference when you get there twice, your driver's license, or your national insurance number, which again, they cross-reference when you get there. So you have to present the same ID that you use to register for the vax, to get your shot in the first place before you even get it. So they have a pretty good record-keeping system of who's been getting shots and who's been not.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be concerned about that, unless his concern is that persons are here legally would contract the coronavirus amongst themselves and would be unable to get the vaccine. I'm not sure of what the answer is in that situation, but just throwing it out there.
Yep. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. And again, if you're just joining us, what he's talking about there is that statement from the National COVID-19 Vaccine Consultative Committee yesterday saying that due to limited supply now, the COVID-19 vaccine will only be available to Bahamian citizens and permanent residents over the age of 18. And especially those, they're really targeting those in the critical groups, healthcare workers, people over 50, people with disabilities, homebound, physically disabled, the at-risk people, and those in the areas like healthcare workers that need protection. All right, let's take some more calls and we'll get to your text messages. Good morning, caller, on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Don.
Hi, good morning.
So, Dwight, you're going to get the vaccine so the government could give you back your rights then?
I'm going to get the vaccine eventually, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I mean, the science proves that you don't actually need it, but, you know. But here's the point I want to make, though. We found out that the government was allowing U.S. citizens, basically tourists, to come in who supposedly got the vaccine fully, and they didn't need to take a COVID test, right?
It was found out? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we found out, right? 'Cause they didn't announce it.
Okay, you think that happened?
Diagla defended it.
Oh, yeah, we heard this? Really? Did you hear this, Don? I mean, somebody actually came here.
I'll pull up the article.
Yeah, I'd like to read that.
And I'll send it to you.
I appreciate that.
Diagla defended it.
Somebody,
now we have Dr. Dawid
I thought it was an announcement.
allowing fully vaccinated people to travel also. But according to the science, you can still catch COVID, even if you are vaccinated.
Yeah, possibly.
So what is there to defend in that? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Wait, okay, which part
those persons can still spread the virus.
Wait, so the issue you have is that they're not taking a test. You think they should take a test?
They should take a test.
Okay.
They can still spread the virus.
All right, you're saying a couple things and you confused me, actually. What are you saying? Did you say earlier that they're...
No. My point is they're defending this, even though the science says they can still
You mean the
spread
vaccine? Now, that's not what I thought I heard you say earlier. But okay. So
what do you know I said earlier?
I don't know why I think I heard you say... I don't want to repeat it because if that's not what you said, that would be crazy as well. That you heard...
No, they did was allowing Americans to come in without taking a test.
Right, okay. Yeah, I thought you said something else.
I did say that, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
Like I said, I'll send you the article.
No. I understand. Okay. I thought you said something very different. That's fine.
No.
Sure. We're having the same conversation over and over again, though. Right, folks? I don't know why we are, but okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Nope. Okay, let's read some of these messages. This person says, like a previous caller from yesterday's show said, Bahamians just don't listen. I guess that's the people who went to the party. Is that it? This one says, find the venue. The venue renters will then admit who the organizers were. If not, they can pay the fine or go to jail. Another one here. Contact the phone company, and whoever that number on the flyer is registered to gets the fine. And this one here, I don't blame the people. The government is in a trust deficit, and since they cannot be responsible and are doing the opposite of what they did when numbers were worse, it can only mean that it ain't that serious. This is not condoning the actions, but a simple current state. I don't even think these people care about anything. They just want to go to a big party. It's going to be fun. They're not caring whether the government is campaigning or not, or that wouldn't change anything at all. They stop campaigning right now, people will still be going to parties. Okay. That event opposite Great Cliff was just simply crazy. People will blame the government that they are handling the pandemic poorly, but it's the behavior of our people that's causing the spike. Another one here. Dwight, enforcement is definitely the key to controlling the spread. There was a party going on in my neighborhood after curfew hours, and the police and COVID line were called over 5 times. No one came. This was in Blair, less than 10 minutes away from the Wolf Road police station. The neighbor hosting the party was approached to turn the music down, but the party continued until after 2:30 a.m. with the loud music. Wow. This one says here they need to start confiscating all the audio equipment on site. No DJ, no party. DJ will think twice. Well, that's interesting. Okay.
I think they're going for the if you're hot edge, you can feel approach there.
That's the same thing. Take away the DJ equipment, you've got that's the end of you. Yep. And this one here, regarding the idea of a national political debate, which you weren't really talking about today yet, but anyway, among the national debate among the 2 major political parties and the other fringe political parties, I agree with the F&M not to participate. Having the extremely biased eyewitness news personality as a moderator is unacceptable. It's likely to amount only to a dog and pony show. Anyway, for those who act daily like rebels looking for a cause, that's because being what now? What's happening here? Okay, the rest of the text, I don't know what's happening.
Topic. I know that's not a topic of discussion for the day, but because I saw a lot of people saying, yeah, this would be our first debate. And it's like, well, no, we had debates the last election cycle too, which I attended all of them at the University of the Bahamas. And I'm just going to say that they were kind of poorly attended by the public. The only people I saw who really came out in numbers were PLP supporters and some F&M supporters. And we had the likes of, I think it was Keith Bell, Romy Ferreira, I believe Marvin Dames was there debating as well as Ken Dorset, as well as some DNA candidates. I think Ali McIntosh was there. I believe there were, at the time, was the People's Movement. And then the same thing happened in 2012, where we had supposed debates. This has been happening almost every cycle, I think. For the last 3 cycles, I think the university has been trying to put on debates. So it's nothing new. And I think last election cycle, too, Prime Minister Christie at the time also said, yes, he'd participate, kind of similar to Brave Davis, as long as, at the time, now Prime Minister Minnis would also participate, right, as well as Bradford McCartney. Of course, last election cycle. And to see this happening now is, if you paid attention to the last cycle, this would be no surprise. This is very much so on brand. So, you know, now whether the concerns of the biases of the media things, that's neither here nor there, because you also have to remember, if you even look at American presidential debates, they're literally put on by media houses each debate, right? Fox would do a debate, CNN would do a debate. And it is the right of political operatives or candidates to say that I don't like this media outlet, therefore I'm not going to come to the debate. We saw Trump do that as well. Right. But I'm just saying, this isn't anything new. And this is also not the first or second time we've seen a statement which basically ends up being, yeah, we ain't coming.
Right. And actually, there've been debates even long before that, and nothing of a national level, but maybe within constituencies and smaller debates here and there. But
I think
people
last time they labeled it as town halls, where even the public things.
Yeah.
So
that's often the way they work in the U.S. as well. But they happen, but people are hoping to get it on a bigger scale. And that seems to be a challenge here. All right, let's get back to the phone calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Look here. Y'all, I hope you know. I haven't heard y'all, but y'all need to wake up and start to warn the public, payment public, that in the next 3 months, country wouldn't be the same. All right? And look here, if you don't take your vaccine, you won't be able to go to the food store in another couple of months. All right, this thing is going to get so bad. For the text line, you blocked me. Oh, you would take my.
I don't think that's
It's okay.
I'm not sure we're able to do that, but okay, if you're texting, then I don't know what's happening. But okay, thank you very much. I don't think we block anybody in the text line. We do? Yeah? No? What? No. What? Oh, boy. Well, your text must be very special if that happens. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Are you there? Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Nope. Okay. Well, let's go back to the text line then. If the government would address some of the contradictions with the vaccine and testing for travelers and indicate when and how we may expect the rollout of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. You still talking about Johnson & Johnson? Oh, okay. This could be very persuasive to reduce hesitancy and encourage compliance, especially if the tone is not blaming us. Where is the Speak Easy tonight, Dwight? Speak Easy. Do you know the dogma? That's text.
Is that a reference to like speakeasies from the?
Perhaps, but I don't know what they're asking about. Okay.
Very cryptic.
That's a text. That's a text. See, this is why some people get blocked. Anyway, one point is there to live like this, we all might as well just not be on Earth. What? Oh boy. Okay. I blame the police. How is it that a party can okay, I'm gonna need some people to spell check and read these before you press send. How is it that a party can okay. How is it that a party that big can happen without the police not knowing? If they were doing their job when the numbers reached 50, they should have been shut down. Really? I don't think you all know how things work. Okay. Put all the party goers on a key for a week and let them party over there, plus fine them each $1,000 or 1 month in prison. Yep. You really think that's a good way to deal with it? Okay. Another one here. The FNM doesn't want to be held accountable for all the promises they made whilst they're in opposition. That's why they don't want to debate. Sure.
Is it that the entire party is not participating, or is it just the head of the party?
It seems the entire party.
Oh.
The statement was about the whole party.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, let's take some more calls and we're going to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight. Morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Don. You know what is amazing, Dwight? You know what is make me laugh as a Bahamian? Not everyone, but a lot of people, anytime some of my Bahamian people have parties, people come and justify this one could have it, that one could have it. But listen, y'all people, wake up, man. When them people have those parties around those gated areas, they don't be on social media snapping and putting up on posts. All right? But at the end of the day, right, I don't feel sorry for the promoter. I think Don said something. If it was me, personally, the DJ would have get fined. His one who drive the truck would have get fined. The security would, that's what to do. And guess what? The person who gave that statement from Great Cliff, hey, come on, man. You know what, dumb? You all rent the place out, man. You all rent the place out. I am close to people that have events, right? You all rent the place out, so you all know who you all rent the place to. Don't fine them $90,000. Fine them $190,000 because it seems to me that the only way Mr. Strachan, besides like Don Take and all them before the court, hit them where it hurts. Sometimes in life, right? When you don't want to listen, you gotta feel. So I don't feel sorry for those who feel sorry. Oh, they poor Bahamian people. If you all poor, take your money and put it all. Do something sensible. Half of y'all out there have children, right? You all before to go party, and your children home dead hungry, or you gotta carry your children to your grandmother. Get good. Have more parties, and COVID police find them even more. Yes. I agree with that 110% as a Bahamian.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, all right. And then this call on the air.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
Well, bottom line is that people are not adhering to the rules and regulations, so therefore the penalty applies. But what I really call about Dwight is what concerns me is that we have a lot of stuff going on in this country, especially our persons who are trying to make a living, and the government doing what they have to do. I don't see no reason why they cannot have this this competition or this competition with all the debate with all the relevant parties. They can do that. That's really not urgent, right? We have to concentrate.
What's not urgent?
I pay the government. Okay, they get paid their salary. They need to do their work. They should not be sidetracked. But to me, it's foolishness to even have this talk. Okay.
Did you see how many debates they had last year in the U.S. before the election at the height of the COVID pandemic?
But that's the U.S.
No, we're trying to decide the way forward for this country.
Yeah, but Dwight, you can imagine you have an urgent situation now, right? COVID. I ain't got time.
Oh, please.
But see, I am a taxpayer.
Oh, please.
And I think it's a waste.
What are these ministers doing? You think they're doing the work in the ministries? Are you serious? What are they doing? They have time. They have time. They have time to campaign. They have time to go around to people's houses in their silly red shirts. Stop it.
At the end of the day, right?
That's ridiculous. I can't even allow you to continue talking nonsense. That's just garbage. What? They find the time to go knocking in your neighborhood when you're trying to relax at home. Stop, please. What?
Sorry. Okay. Hey, man.
Man.
Differing opinions, whatever.
No.
No,
That's not what that is.
I think
we know what that
the
is.
Debates are necessary. I think the debates are extraordinarily necessary. And I don't know if you saw the debates last election cycle, Dwight. A lot of the policy positions that were laid out, and I can speak to national security and Ministry of the Environment, which were laid out by then candidates, but now ministers of said ministries. A lot of the things they debated in that hall at the University of the Bahamas ended up being policy. And these are things that people got a chance to ask them questions and stuff about. So no, I think it absolutely is relevant, because oftentimes in this country, we don't vote based on facts, policies, or people's track records. We vote based on emotions because we're upset with the government, because quote unquote, the people are suffering. But if you really dissect or just get snippets of things that Bahamians are upset about every election cycle, it's the same thing over and over again, right? Different segments of the population are affected different ways. But that's what I'm getting at this point is like, we never really dissect or get on people's records while they were in office, the things they voted yes on, things they voted no on, policies they implemented as cabinet ministers, or policies they did not implement, things that they promised but didn't deliver upon. Only thing we engage in this country is just random banter on social media and then vote based on emotions.
Yeah.
And that's it. We don't deal with facts.
Based on who had the best music and food at the rally.
And who had the best night train at the... you know what? Let me get... I'll stop.
No, they got time for that, though. Right in the middle of all the things going on, they have time for rallies every night on every island. That's important. Right? But no time to talk. No time to explain things, how they feel about issues. No. Who has time for that? We got real things to deal with. Okay. Oh, boy. I think it's a good time for a little break. We'll be back with more of what's making news on this Tuesday morning in just a bit.
But I know that I'm never ever gonna change, and you know you don't want it any other way. Why do we always gotta run away when we wind up in the same place? It's like we're looking for the same thing, yeah. Do we really gotta do this now? Ride it with all your friends around. In the morning we can work it out. I love you so much that I hate you. Right now it's so hard to blame you, 'cause you're so beautiful. Is it easier to stay? Is it easier to go? I don't wanna know. But I know that I'm never ever gonna change, and you know that you're always gonna stay the same. Is it easier to stay?
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And we've got your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Here's what's happening in real-time traffic. We're seeing the traffic building on Sir Miles Butler Highway, northbound lanes, as usual. The closer you get to Tonique Williams Darling Highway, you're going to be seeing that congestion there. And Gladstone Road building at Kennedy Drive. Elsewhere, we are seeing pockets at major intersections, especially along Prince Charles Drive and East Street. You'll be seeing some of that, especially East Street South. So keep that in mind. This morning, we'll have another real-time report for you just after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And we've got another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. We've got a frontal boundary weakening across the central Bahamas, while a strong high-pressure system will build over the area. Beachgoers should be alert for possible rip currents along north and easterly shores. For all areas today, look for partly to mostly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with an isolated shower or two, becoming fair and mild with a passing shower tonight. Small craft should exercise caution. 75 degrees right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure and fresh breezes are expected to continue over the islands through Friday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, look for partly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with an isolated shower, turning fair and mild with a passing shower at night. Thursday, partly sunny, warm, and breezy with an isolated shower, fair and mild with a passing shower at night. That's your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. Basketball fans, have you done it yet? It's time for you to sign up or upgrade to Rev Trio and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free. It's heating up as we approach the playoffs. You can get this free if you sign up. Call 601-8992 or email trio@cablebahamas.com to sign up. Rev, you and us together.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new more text and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best. Believe in best.
Go cashless with CIBC First Caribbean and enjoy enhanced safety features with our Visa debit and credit cards. Pair them with our mobile app and turn on transaction alerts. You'll receive an alert every time your card is used, so you're always in the know. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information. Go cashless with CIBC First Caribbean.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass, only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, along with incredible prizes, including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, it's the best on and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or visit www.rev.bs/promotions/trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy? The one with the dogs.
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent on this Tuesday morning. And we are talking about what's in the news. We've been talking about this big party over the weekend and the $92,000 fine. It's come up again as well about the debate series that UB is planning and how the FNM says they're not taking part in that. So that's been seeping into the conversation as well. And we're going to talk about what's happening with schools in just a bit. Just want to read a few more of your messages. We'll take a couple more calls as well. Here's one based on what they said before the break. Someone says, okay, Dwight, so you're referring to Bahamians wearing F&M red shirts as those silly red shirts. So are the blue and yellow shirts also silly or not really? Oh, yeah, they're all very silly. Be careful, my friend. Your biased political horns are showing again. You're very funny. You're hilarious. We were talking about the silly call we got before about how the government, the cabinet members are too busy to debate. They don't have time for that now. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. They have time to get out in their silly red shirts to campaign, but they don't have time to debate. That's what I was talking about. But yeah, all the other shirts are silly. And I voted for all of these some of these parties, and I'm still talking about the same thing I was talking about 10 years ago, so what good has it done for any of us? That's the question, right? So you can continue to be loyal to one, and yeah, all of them are silly. Very. Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, and how are you today?
Well.
And thank you.
Yeah.
I am calling to address false advertising. I'm aware of the advertisement for you have 3 or
Well, you gotta call them about that. Call them about that. Right. Okay. Okay. All right, folks.
Wow, Dwight.
I don't. Why would
I'm
you?
not laughing at the call. I'm just laughing at your response.
Well, why would you do that anyway?
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
All right, here's a text. Please tell me what percentage of debates affects the decision at the polls. So what determines what we vote on here? The rally? The insults? The handing out of T-shirts? What determines here why we do what we do here? I mean, so okay.
I'm not understanding. Okay. You know what? What I'm gathering from this is that Bahamians have no interest in debates at all. And judging by the attendance of the last 2 cycles.
Well, wait till you hear this text, Don. Continue your thought after this. This text, debates are theater of the absurd. Wow. Okay, so let's just forget it then. So rally, let's have a rally. Let's have a rally right at the same place where this party was.
Rallies,
where is this? Barrels? Bahamian Barrels. Let's do it right there.
Yeah, that's
okay. Well, the people have spoken.
Yep. Where are we going again? Forward, backward, sideways, together?
Not forward. Not forward.
Oh, man. You can't make this stuff up, man. But see, that's the thing about it, though. I sometimes wonder if it's really just the persons who support a certain political party that say these things, right? Because then when other things go in the media that isn't in the interest of, let's say, the PLP, we also get texters who text in things to make, to make these things seem absurd, or as if like what you're seeing in front of you is not what you're seeing in front of you, right? No, I think debates are a movement in the right direction and a movement forward. One thing I gotta say that, regardless of that, it seems, at least on paper, and there's a record to show for it, because Christie did it last election cycle. I think it was even a discussion about it in 2012. It seems as though the PLP is more committed to essentially having these debates and discussions and public forums and talking than the FNM historically. Now, why that is the case, I don't know, right? Like I said, the last cycle around, I do recall seeing Romy Ferreira there. He gave a good showing. A lot of the points that were raised by both parties, by the FM and the PLP, and even some of the independents and third parties, I thought were pretty convincing. This was issues of policy. And when people dug into the policies, some people stumbled and fumbled and couldn't answer the question. It was quite obvious. And then other people were able to stay on their feet and answer the questions. But I don't know if I would just absolutely just dismiss the whole issue of debates. right? But like I said before, Bahamians historically are not a people that vote based. We don't make decisions historically based on facts. We make decisions historically. When I'm talking with
I thought you were going to say based on sense, but yeah, facts. That's
that was
right.
based on emotion. That's what I was going to say. I don't even know if it's always sense. Sometimes I think so. It's practical and pragmatic. But then a lot of other times I can point to things that just absolutely didn't make any sense. Or we would absolutely just stand against things that are that are in the interest of the majority. And Bahamians would be like, we don't want this. And so, whatever. That's what the majority want. It kind of makes sense why governments always operate the way they do. They start off in opposition saying one thing, but then they get into power and then realize how a lot of our people think. They're like, yeah, so what if we railroad them? What are they going to do? Vote us out? Oh, God, there's no accountability here. So, you don't go to jail or anything.
Let's take some more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Hi.
Dwight?
Yes, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes. My first time calling your show. In fact, I listen to every show, right? And I'm like, I understand. And I think you hung up on some gentleman a while ago, and I thought that was a little disrespectful. I mean, I've seen people come on this show, and they speak all manner of things. There's a guy who comes on, I think his name is, and he called people's name all the time. And I was saying, boy, you all need to put the Trump on him with the American put on Trump. Take him off altogether. But you don't do that. But a person's view, they can't change that. And this debate thing, if Kindia was there along with the next fella from the next station who think he's God gift to the Bahamas when it comes to media, I can't believe the F&M probably would have accept that. But I watch this guy sometimes, and I know what he is and what he says. So, and everything what we do, we have to be like a little balanced.
So here's the thing.
You might not like the party. You might not like the F&M. But guess what? They're there, so we accept it for the time, and next year, if you don't like them, you vote them out.
Well, here's the thing. This is how it works in other parts of the world. You put your case forward and say, fine, we agree to this, but we want this to be like this. And so everybody, but there doesn't seem to be any compromise.
No, if I was F&M, I would not go on that particular thing. If, like I say, if Ms. Davis
put the
was
case
having
forward, say that you'd like a different host.
Somebody else, yeah. Okay?
So that's what I'm saying. So instead of saying we aren't going to do it, suggest that we have a different host. Suggest that we have at least one with us.
That. They said if this particular person, they know this person,
No, they didn't quite say that. They said the media house.
But let me ask you something. Do you think any F&M would go on Rodney Monk, Tim?
I have no idea.
Because you know where they're leading.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, like I say, I really aim for the debate because guess what? I watch every section of the House of Assembly. And none of these people I would not put back. But guess what? I don't have a choice in the matter because if the public wants these people, either I take it or I don't.
No, see, you're making a very interesting point there, right? Because some of these people don't know because they've never heard them in a setting like that until they get into the house. And you realize, well, this person had no business being in there. If only we had seen them in a setting like this before, we'd know that they'd be terrible in a House of Assembly type environment.
Right.
But when you go by just rallying or giving a speech at a convention, you can't judge what type of person you're going to get in the House of Assembly.
No, Dwight. Let me say this. Let me say this before I hang up. Let me tell you something. Nobody knows nothing about Menace. Menace never even been on your radio show.
Well, he did once.
Show in Nassau.
No, he did.
But
He did.
The Bahamian people sent him in on a landslide. Right? He never been on no show.
No, that's not fair. He has. He actually has. He was on this show actually. Oh, you're not listening. You're not listening.
From nobody.
That's not true. Not true. He was.
Send it to me so I can see it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you refuse to listen.
He
That's not true. Okay, this is why people get cut, because they talk, right? He actually did.
All right,
and then it didn't go well, right? It didn't go well, and then he stopped doing it. But he was on Morning Blend, and he was on a few other shows when he was leader of the opposition. And he made some unusual claims. Like, remember the time when he said it was, this is the time we've had a bunch of lawyers. Now we need a doctor. And we're like, well, they have doctors in the PLP as well. Should we just put one of the PLPs as a doctor? And then he was shocked by that, and the things went downhill.
Yeah, that also to be I remember that. Sorry. Also to be fair, during my short time working for another radio station, I produced some content, and Minnis was definitely there. So he has made the rounds, and don't forget, he wasn't always the political giant that he is now.
Yeah, right.
Just saying. And one thing no one can take away from Minnis is that he's very shrewd and makes very cunning moves. Now, that's not me praising him; it's just me stating facts.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the issue with the debates isn't necessarily. What's a good way of saying this? I disagree with the texter, the caller who said that, like, if people had known ahead of time, like the way that Minnis conducts himself now as prime minister is still similar to some of the things and the ways he conducts himself as leader of opposition. Like, nothing should come as a surprise. If you were paying attention, you'd see it. But that's the point of these things known as debates, right? Is that the average citizen does not watch the House of Assembly or the parliamentary channel. Not even in other countries in the United States, most Americans do not sit down and watch Senate hearings. Or watch when the Senate or House of Representatives meet and talk about bills. They hear about these things maybe on the news, but they're really strong presentation of these candidates, whether it be state or county, is when they have these town halls and these debates where they talk to these people and they roast them if their ideas are stupid. And literally, you've had presidents of the United States or aspiring presidents. We actually have had a president, that would be Nixon, who screwed up on a debate floor, could not. Governor Dukakis, who also ran, and fudged up a question when they asked him what the death penalty. But Kitty Dukakis, if someone was to rape his wife, how would he respond? Would he still be against the death penalty?
Mm-hmm.
Right? These types of moments are necessary, and this is how basically an engaged electorate is basically able to gauge character. Now, is it always a sensible process? No, but it gives people more visibility before the public so people can make better and informed decisions.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it has led to those outcomes.
And I do need the behaving people to realize it. Maybe you won't appreciate a debate, but there are many of us who would. So for you to keep calling and say, I don't need a debate, that's okay, good for you. But there are others who are looking for this and want to see how these folks handle a situation like that. All right, so you could be happy there in your little corner saying we don't need debates.
But also understand this. I think a part of the reason also there's a push, or I don't know if I could say that. I may not say too much, but this is my belief. Considering I went to the last set of debates in 2017, I even brushed up with it in 2012. But in 2017, I sat through all of them, beginning to end. Came a single time and I sat and listened to the debates. And I watched the crowd sizes. It was in the Performing Arts Center at the University of the Bahamas. The room was poorly filled.
Mm-hmm.
Barely anybody from the public who wasn't brought there by their political party to support their candidate.
Yeah.
Right? I think the purpose of this now is to get more visibility behind these things. And you're going to see if they're more likely live streaming these events. You're going to see an explosion in numbers. People will be paying attention. There's this high visibility.
Definitely.
That's the whole point and intention of it.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I understand the position of the party. I get it. Right? Because it's very on brand for what's been happening for the last two cycles. But at the same time, do not suggest that there's nobody that wants to see these things. There absolutely is.
Yeah, definitely. Here's a text before we go to break. This one says, this is the same person who said, debate Joel Ma. It says, I decide who to vote for based on the party that I support. The party that I support is the one closest to my own values and my view on how our country should develop. Okay. Well, that means you're voting. Right. They're voting for four parties at the same time because they all say the same thing. They all say the same thing. So, okay. I didn't think you could do that here, but oh well. Anyway,
I'm sorry, this show is hilarious.
This is the state of things in the country. Anyway, let's take a break.
Hey man, more.
We'll be back. Stay with us.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With 4 stores all across Nassau on East Bay, West Bay, Old Fort Bay, and Palmdale, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Is your heart failing you? Find out. Join Cleveland Clinic, Florida and Doctors Hospital on Tuesday, April the 27th at 6 p.m. for a free webinar on all things heart. Hear from leading experts on cardiovascular disease, Dr. Alejandro Mesples of Doctors Hospital and Dr. Howard Bush of Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Don't let your heart miss this beat. Visit us online at events.dpa-media.com or call 394-0677.
The best place to get a new iPhone is at PTC. Make the iPhone 12 mini yours for just $199. That's big savings to go with our sweet postpaid value of unlimited local calls, international minutes, roaming data and minutes, plus all the data you need. Stream, share, and stay connected on the best LTE network when you switch to PTC. Visit a store to sign up today and get the iPhone 12 mini for just $199. Conditions apply.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy? The one with the dogs.
With local claims managers, we passed. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
So I'm flying back to the island, so let's go. When you hear them beating that drum and calypso, na. There's a party going on. You can do till the break of dawn. Sweet music, man, it makes everyone lose control. Everybody, here we go. It's better in the bomb. Everybody, here we go. You can make a grown man cry if you ever said goodbye. Never let you go. You can make a grown man cry if you ever left my side. Never let you go.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent. Just want to read this text very quickly before we move on to our guest here. This texter says, I'm very interested in the debates I will be watching. By the way, the only time I've ever seen your bias is when people are against the vaccine. Other than that, you're not as bad as they say you are, Dwight. Okay, well. Wow. Okay. Thank you, texter. Oh, must be. Anyway, but speaking of the vaccine, that's what we're going to be talking about this morning with our guest, the Director of Infectious Disease at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Nikhil Forbes. Dr. Forbes, always a pleasure to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Strachan. Good morning, Bahamas.
And you are, how long has it been since your first dose? It's been more than a month now, right? And you're doing well?
I am doing fine. I didn't have any vaccine side effects.
Okay, all right, wonderful stuff. All right, so we have a lot to talk to you about, but let's talk about where we are with the numbers. The numbers are surging here, it seems. Third wave, I mean, we can say it, right? This is definitely a third wave here that we will see?
Yes, a third wave of COVID-19 here in the Bahamas.
All right. So what exactly is happening here? We heard at the press conference recently that it's international travel and that it's a lack of adherence to the protocols. Is it as simple as that, or are we seeing something else, a different variant? Are we seeing people being reinfected? What is really happening out there?
There are a number of factors that are contributing to the third wave, and travel is one of those things that has been identified, but certainly people have let their guards down a bit in terms of gathering and following the public health measures. There have also been clusters of exposures associated with some activities. There was a spike after the Easter holiday, and as we heard in the last Ministry of Health press conference, the initial testing done by the reference lab did show some genes that are associated with COVID-19 variants, and those samples have been sent out for further testing. And so there are a combination of things.
All right, so is it possible that someone who was infected early on, maybe this time last year, that they be reinfected? Could they be reinfected by a new variant? Is that what we're seeing?
Well, we know that reinfection after getting COVID-19 the first time can happen. And that can happen as early as 3 months after the first infection. Now, this is still thought to be an uncommon event. It doesn't happen to most people who get COVID-19, but it is possible. And there could be a myriad of factors. So immunity for COVID-19, that could be different for some persons. The new variants can also cause infections. But like I said, the third wave that we're seeing is a combination of factors.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any numbers to show whether we are seeing reinfected people?
Well, to actually diagnose a reinfection, if you're going to follow the guidelines to a T, you should use a phylogenetic study. That's a study to show that there's a new strain of COVID. However, that is not something that we have at this time. There are certainly other viruses that could cause respiratory symptoms, but if someone presents with compatible signs and symptoms after some time with a positive test, we really do have to entertain that they could be reinfected. But like I said, that is not the main driver of why we're seeing this third wave. I don't want people to get distracted. Mm-hmm. It is because public health measures are not being applied and we've let our guards down, along with other things like clusters and COVID spreading. For example, it could be workplace exposures or even smaller gatherings where the environment is conducive for COVID spread, meaning people are close together, not wearing masks, or there's crowds or gathering or indoor gatherings.
Right. All right. So we keep hearing about international travel. So is it primarily people, Bahamians, who've been traveling and coming back, or is this as a result of people visiting the country?
Well, we have reports of both persons who have traveled abroad and returned, and we have reports of people who are exposed to travelers, and certainly travelers also.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get more into this, and especially information about the vaccine. We know we have a lot of people with questions about the vaccine. We're going to dive into that as well. Again, we're talking with Dr. Nakia Forbes, and this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a frontal boundary that is weakening across the central Bahamas today as expected, while strong high pressure is building over the area behind it. Beachgoers should be alert for possible rip currents along north and east coast beaches. For all areas today, forecast calls for partly to mostly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with isolated showers becoming fair and mild with a passing shower tonight. Small craft should exercise caution. Look for high temperatures getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure and fresh breezes are expected to continue over the islands through Friday. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, we're looking at partly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with isolated showers, turning fair and mild with a passing shower at night. Pretty much the same for Thursday, partly sunny, warm, and breezy with isolated showers, fair and mild with a passing shower at night. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. .23 the time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. It's looking pretty busy out there, folks. We're seeing some hot and heavy traffic in some areas, like Sir Miles Butler Highway. Heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail in the northbound lanes, heading all the way up to Tawnique Williams Darling Highway this morning. Traffic also backed up on Fire Trail eastbound at this hour. Northbound on Gladstone Road looking a little bit better than Miles Butler Highway this morning for you, so that's a better alternate route, but you're still going to see the heavy traffic the closer you get to JFK Drive. Over on Blue Hill Road, it is busy in multiple spots. You've got near St. Vincent Road, if you're heading northbound mainly. You've got Carmichael Road and Blue Hill, especially eastbound on Carmichael, heading towards Blue Hill Road. And then Blue Hill Road is very busy from north of Soldier Road all the way up to Independence Drive, the northbound lanes. Westbound on Independence Drive, also busy heading towards that roundabout. East Street South getting a little bit better for you, but you're still going to see the traffic, especially south of East-West Highway and north of Soldier Road, mainly in the northbound lanes this morning. Soldier Road also busy in various spots, especially closer to Windsor Place eastbound at this hour. Elsewhere, we've got heavy traffic westbound, especially east of Fox Hill Road, all the way up to Johnson Road, heading towards Montague in the westbound lanes there. Prince Charles Drive, pockets along there, especially the major intersections, and Bernard Road also looking very busy near those schools in the area, westbound mainly this morning. Other spots include Wolf Road, Village Road, Soldier Road, Bernard Road, the intersection there, and Marathon Road northbound also looking pretty congested for you this morning. And along JFK Drive, as you approach the six-legged roundabout, you're going to be seeing some heavy traffic eastbound there. And pockets along West Bay Street as you get closer to Arawak Key and Saunders Beach. So, a lot to deal with this morning. Good luck to you out there on the streets. Hope you have your patience today. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank.
There's only one way to have a better morning. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage egg and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Meet Jackie. Jackie's a hard worker with a steady income, but she has a personal loan and multiple account current. Jackie opted for a loan from Fidelity Bank to consolidate her debt into one monthly payment and earn interest on a built-in savings account. Be like Jackie. Call 356-7764 to book a complimentary financial coaching session. Fidelity also offers virtual assistance. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Back pocket, fit me like a glove and I can't knock it. I ain't even lying. get your love. It's never gonna be nobody's love. Never gonna need nobody's love but yours. If my love ain't your love, then it's nobody's. Only yours, not just. And if you ever leave, then I'm never going. Nobody love. My love ain't your love, then it's nobody's. Only yours, not just anybody's. And if you ever leave, then I'm never going. Nobody love.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent. We are talking with Dr. Nakia Forbes, getting an update on where we are with COVID in the country. And so many questions for Dr. Forbes, but we're very glad they're with us this morning. All right, so before the break, you were talking about travel and the lack of adherence to the protocols, to the social distancing, to just this carefree attitude, it seems, that when it comes to gatherings these days. All right, so let's talk some more about the travel. When we look at the numbers, we're seeing relatively small numbers when it comes to people who have a history of travel. So what should we take away from that? Does that mean that it is more of it being imported by travelers, or what does that mean?
Well, as you did identify, out of the number of cases per day, only some of them have a travel history.
Right.
And so, like I said, not all of the new cases are travel related. There are other persons that are contracting COVID without having a travel history or clear travel related history, meaning someone that they were in contact with traveled. There are other reasons that cases are going up. So like I said, there are gatherings that are contributing to it. There could be events or clusters that are contributing to it.
That brings up herd immunity. We know I think the last number we had was about 25,000 vaccines administered so far. That was a couple of days ago. And we know that we had a good number of people, at least 10,000 people who've been infected. But you said that it's only a few months likely that you would have some sort of immunity if you've been infected. But at what point, how many more people do we need before we can be in a place where we would have herd immunity?
Well, let me just clarify. There are some persons who may be reinfected as early as 3 months after they got COVID the first time, but that is not the usual situation. So scientists are looking to see how long immunity may last. So there is an immune response that probably is longer for most people. And it could be up to a year, it could be longer, and we're studying why this may vary. So I don't want listeners to get the impression that it is only 3 months that one would be immune. That's still relatively uncommon. It's not as likely for people to get reinfected in the short time frame. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about herd immunity, we're talking about the percentage of the overall population that, if they are immune, will significantly reduce the amount of people who could get COVID-19 and thus spread it, making outbreaks far less likely to happen because the virus doesn't have a host that can be infected. And that number is around 70%, 70 to 80%. And so that is the number of persons that need to be immune in a population for herd immunity to be considered achieved.
So
we're not there yet.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying what you just said, the immunity, if you have COVID, could be as high as a year, but we don't know because we're still doing the studies and it's still relatively new for us. Is that what you just said?
Well, yes. Well, the virus is relatively new, right?
Yeah.
So if it emerged in December of 2019, well, we live in the way we practice medicine is based on evidence. It can't be what I think or another expert thinks. We're studying that, so we would know that we are still seeing how long persons can be immune. But we understand immunology, and we know about the response after people get infections. And there are other viruses of this kind, MERS coronavirus and SARS coronavirus, and those persons were studied to see how long their immunity might last. That could be more than a year or longer in some people. Mm-hmm. But scientists are looking for this particular virus to see how long immunity would last, including how long immunity would last after vaccines.
So this goes back, and I'm sure you've been asked this before, but should people who have had COVID take the vaccine now?
People who have had COVID should take the vaccine for the reason that it's been demonstrated that if you've had COVID, you can get COVID again. And so the recommendations for when to get vaccinated after getting COVID, again, is being studied and looked at. And so based on the science, you could have you will have some immune response. And there are some expert agencies like the CDC that are suggesting that you could get it up to 3 months after having COVID, meaning you could get the vaccine up to 3 months after having COVID. But you wouldn't want to get the vaccine while you're acutely ill with COVID.
Right.
Because you're infectious, one, and we don't like to give vaccines. We don't give vaccines when someone is acutely ill. So one would have to wait at least a month after getting COVID and being sick.
And if you are asymptomatic, what difference will it make? Will it impact you in any way? If you have no idea you have COVID and you take the vaccine?
Well, unfortunately, that would not have been. Chances are it would not. But like I said, we don't want to give persons the vaccine. We wouldn't willingly do that when someone acutely has COVID.
Mm-hmm. So should we not be testing people before they take the vaccine?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Well, it just wouldn't pan out public health wise. When we think about interventions, there has to be some sort of common sense. So if you're going to go ahead and test, I would think that the world's population, this vaccine, it's highly desired. To add that additional variable is going to be prohibitive. It's going to be an additional barrier to vaccine uptake. Like I said, we also look at what happened in the real world situation with these studies and the adults that were involved, and there seemingly is no adverse outcome or something so concerning that this additional step should be had. So don't forget, well, let me just say, in case you don't know, that in those vaccine studies, persons did get the vaccine. A few persons got COVID. Right. Subsequent to that, they probably were already incubating COVID with no adverse outcomes. And so all in all, when you weigh all of these things scientifically, it wouldn't merit testing before getting the vaccine, if you follow me.
Right.
But we wouldn't willingly, if you know you have COVID with COVID symptoms, we of course would not vaccinate you on the day.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about that. That was going to be my next question about people who, the numbers that we're hearing, they're very small, but people who come down with COVID after they take the vaccine. What do we make of that? That they were asymptomatic, the vaccine is not causing this, of course, right?
No, the vaccine does not cause COVID, but do keep in mind that, first of all, when you get the vaccine, the first dose of the 2-dose vaccine series, one is not fully vaccinated. Mm-hmm. And so you can get COVID if you are exposed to COVID-19 around the time that you get vaccinated. And that will continue to be the case until one is fully vaccinated. There is some protection, but it's not absolute. Additionally, when you think about the virology and the incubation period of COVID-19, when people first start incubating COVID, they may not have symptoms. So if you get a vaccine, that won't stop you from still getting COVID, but the vaccine does not cause COVID.
Right. So are you saying that it's less likely that if after your second vaccine, if you get your second dose, that your chances of getting COVID would be lower? Is that likely?
Yes, that's exactly correct.
Mm-hmm. All right. We've got a lot of people asking questions here. We heard the report that we played during the news about the policy the government is going to be looking at for May, that if you're fully vaccinated, you're less likely, you won't be required to wear masks if you're around people who are fully vaccinated. We heard your views on that, but for those who missed it, let's talk about that. What do you make of that? Some are saying, well, since the chance that you could still catch or contract COVID is there, shouldn't we all still continue to wear masks and do some of the things that we're doing now? What do we need to keep in mind?
Okay, so I want to be clear on this and stick to the science on this. So there is guidance that the CDC has for people who are fully vaccinated, that there can be reduced restrictions. So let's talk about that. So people who are fully vaccinated are less likely to get and spread COVID-19. And so fully vaccinated persons may have a gathering with other fully vaccinated persons. It would be considered to be a low risk activity. Now, when you think about risk, we're talking about low risk. We're not talking about no risk. And I really want to reiterate that. There is no activity that is no risk, but it is low risk. And so if two vaccinated households are gathering, it is most likely going to be low risk or fine. Hence that guidance. Now let's move on to a fully vaccinated household, or you're fully vaccinated. You could meet indoors with another family, for example, that is not vaccinated, if they are low risk for getting COVID-19, if they don't have high risk activities, for example, and I'm not picking on any profession, example, a healthcare worker who comes in contact with a lot of patients, or if you know you've already been exposed to someone with COVID-19 and you're in quarantine, then in the case where the fully vaccinated group family is gathering indoors, say for a small dinner, with an unvaccinated low risk family, that would be considered a low risk activity and not likely to result in COVID-19 spread, not likely. And so then there's more. Fully vaccinated people are not recommended to gather indoors with people who are unvaccinated and high risk for COVID-19. That's not recommended because there would be a risk for COVID exposure. And so when we hear these things, we've got to know that we're talking about risk reduction. We're not saying that absolutely these things cannot happen. So let's talk some more. If you are fully vaccinated and you go to a huge party inside with other people, there still is a chance that somebody could have a breakthrough COVID infection and that it could be transmitted. It's just less likely in people who are vaccinated. And so that's why I said we still have to apply some principles to reduce the risk of spread, because there's no activity that is no risk. That's my point.
Right.
Now let's talk about travel, because that's going to be a hot topic. These are CDC guidelines. So this information was updated on April 2nd. And this is what it states verbatim. Fully vaccinated travelers are less likely to get and spread COVID-19. However, international travel poses additional risks, and even fully vaccinated travelers are at increased risk for getting and possibly spreading new COVID-19 variants. That's exactly what it says verbatim, quote unquote.
Right.
And so we know that these new variants, that they can break through some vaccines. Let us now interpret, because that's what guidelines are. They have to be interpretable. Is this going to be applied to your situation? And so we do know that persons who are vaccinated, fully vaccinated, are less likely to get and spread COVID-19. However, it's not impossible that one could get the breakthrough variants. And so that is the reason why that for international travel, in the place where this guideline is for, the United States, there is still testing related to international travel, but not domestic travel. If the situation is that your COVID situation and the variants look fairly consistent across your country. And so I'm saying to you that you have to consider that, yes, fully vaccinated is a good thing, that there's a huge reduction in the risk for getting COVID and spreading COVID, but none of these things is absolute. It's not no risk. And so what you would need to do is put in place additional precautions. It could be a good idea to consider, okay, well, what about, would there be testing for international travel if you're trying to combat variants and the potential for introducing variants? But of course, we should still follow the public health measures, mask wearing, social distancing, because it's all about reducing risk overall. You see what I mean?
Yeah. So don't throw away the masks if you've been fully vaccinated. You're going to need them, and you're still going to have to follow the rules that have been in place for the past year or so.
I would say that that is our situation at the moment.
Yeah.
And you have to look at how you can overall protect yourself with the aim of not getting or spreading COVID-19. Now, more may be seen later on. Situations may change as more countries have fully vaccinated people and other things. And there are other vaccines that combat variants.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. We're getting some great questions coming in on our text line, and you can continue to text us 422-4796, and we'll open the phone lines a little bit later. But let's talk about the reactions that some people are having to the vaccine. Don, I know you had an interesting experience. If you could summarize it really quickly for us, and then we'll talk to Dr. Forbes about that and what that means. Don? Don there? Yep.
Hey, Dwight, can you hear me?
Right, yes, we can hear you now. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your experience, and I think you had a very interesting reaction to the vaccine.
With the vaccine, right?
Yeah.
It was in and out for a second.
Yes.
Yeah, I had I don't know. In my opinion, I had a terrible reaction. I think within the 20 minutes of me getting the shot, my arm swole up and like my underarm swole, and got lightheaded because I had to drive. So, you know how that is, right? I think that evening, I took that around 11:30. That evening, I had the chills, and then finally got home around 9 something at night, and violently shivering. Had to turn on the heater full blast in my car. Got home, drank some tea to cool, warm myself up, even though it was pretty not very cold outside. I think we had a cold front that evening. And yeah, then I got the fever, couldn't sweat, didn't sleep that night. It was just absolutely terrible fever while still having the shivers. So if you get a little cool, you're freezing, you cover up, you're literally overheating your body. I think I ran through almost every symptom. I had the abdominal pain, complete loss of appetite, itchiness around the area, increased swelling, general, and headaches too, consistent headaches all on end of fatigue, muscle fatigue, joint pains. Now, I don't think my experience is necessarily the norm, because my symptoms lasted, I think, about 10 to 12 days.
Wow.
While after, I think, about 5 days, the general painful fatigue and joint pain and fever went away. I had the essential complete loss of appetite for like I think about 12 days afterwards, up to 12 days.
Wow.
So,
All right,
while my experience, in my opinion, was bad, I don't think it's typical.
Right. All right. So, Dr. Forbes, that's very extreme. I had somebody call us. She said she's 83, took the vaccine, not an issue at all. You also said you didn't have an issue. So, what's accounting for that? Why are some people reacting in this way and others nothing at all?
All right. So, side effects of the vaccine, they're generally mild to moderate in terms of the spectrum of illness. So that is a rather long time. Some people will mount an immune response and have those side effects. And it's not clear sometimes. Scientists are postulating maybe that people who may have had COVID before could have a immune reaction and have these symptoms, or it could just be the way your immune system deals with that. I'm sorry to hear that happened to you, but I'm glad that you made it through it and are here with us now, because the trade-off for having those moderate side effects would be you will have increased protection from getting COVID-19. So after the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, they say the effectiveness could be upward of 76%. And I guess you would have to tell me, but I think that's better than ending up in an ICU on a ventilator or dying or having permanent.
No, I agree. I agree. Being alive is always preferable.
Definitely.
Let's answer that. So what are you saying? So if you have a reaction like that, what does that mean for the second dose? Could it be worse? Could it be better?
It could be that those side effects will be experienced during the second dose. And we would ask that you report those to, we have a Ministry of Health mechanism to report adverse effects. And also one could take fever reducers and other measures to improve some of those symptoms. But I would state, and I want to say that in general, not your situation, Mr. Sargent, because we wouldn't do a consultation for you on air, but if you're having protracted symptoms, those symptoms are also in keeping with COVID symptoms, so you really should call your doctor to make sure you don't actually have COVID in situations like that. If you're experiencing something that's unusual.
I actually did contact the hotline.
But let's not discuss that here because we really shouldn't be having a medical
No,
consultation.
yeah, I understand. But I was just saying, like, I did
offline.
I did call in, and because after I saw everybody was saying, like, some other persons who I know is a minority. It's like 2 people I knew were also having a very bad reaction. And they was just like, hey, I just called the number. You should call to report your stuff. And I did, and I got a consultation, all that stuff. So I'm good. But, you know.
Great to hear.
It's going to be great.
All right, this question here, is it possible for the vaccine to impact fertility or reproductive health? What should women know? And do you have any facts to ease concerns about this?
No, there's no possibility that the vaccine can impact fertility or reproductive health.
Can pregnant women take the vaccine?
So there's a bit of an explanation to that. So at this time, it's not in our current eligibility guidelines. If you were pregnant, we're not currently giving the vaccine to pregnant women here because pregnant women were not included in the inclusion patients for these studies. However, there are expert agencies, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, that state that pregnant women should also mount an immune response. And there's no reason to think that they would not do well with this vaccine. And maybe you should look at the risks and the benefits. So what if she's a high risk woman? Say, for example, she's a healthcare worker and she works with or in hospitals that are treating COVID patients. Perhaps she would benefit from the vaccine. And so on a case-by-case basis in some places, that is being considered. And there are clinical trials that are happening now to look at the immunity and to document the experience in studies involving pregnant women. So it is likely that this will change, but we have not changed that yet. We're following the package label, whom should get this vaccine and the vaccines to the letter.
Right. So if you're in your first trimester, you're maybe first, second month, and you take it not knowing that you are pregnant, what then? Should you be concerned?
Well, what I'll tell you is, like, in the real world, sometimes you don't know you're pregnant until sometime afterward. And so there were pregnant women who inadvertently were included in those studies, and they were fine. There were no adverse outcomes or adverse birth outcomes.
Wow. All right. What about people with allergies or natural allergies or allergies to medication? What should they know about the vaccine?
So it's not allergies across the board that are a concern. It is allergies to and components in the vaccine. So if you have had a history of having a severe allergic reaction like swelling of the lips or tongue or hives after having gotten a vaccine, you want to bring that to our attention. But something like sinus allergies or an allergy to foods, that's not a contraindication to getting the vaccine.
All right. We've got more questions coming, as we said. We're going to take a break, though, and then be back with this. We are talking with Dr. Nakia Forbes, talking about COVID and the vaccine. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
You can make a grown man cry if you ever said goodbye. Never let you go. You can make a grown man cry.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best.
Believe in best.
Go cashless with CIBC First Caribbean. Pay your credit card via the ABM. Did you know that you can pay your CIBC First Caribbean credit card bill at our in-branch ABMs, even if you don't have an account with us? Yes, you can. Simply visit your nearest in-branch ABM today and follow the prompts. Visit CIBCFCIB.com to learn more today. Go cashless with CIBC First Caribbean.
Imagine that's advancement begins with an idea that things can be different, better, now. Imagine a world where your entertainment experience was all about you, your style, your show, at your budget. At Rev, that's what we've imagined. To join the conversation and learn more about the future of Rev TV, visit us at rev.bs/imagine.
The Department of Environmental Health Services and the Ministry of Environment is proud to present the Enviro Bahamas app, an app designed to cut down on the wait time of non-collection, swift removal of hazardous items, old furniture, appliances, and the eyesore of community pileup. Skip the call-in hotlines. Get straight to the source. Search Enviro Bahamas in the Google Play Store. Get rid of the crap. Download the app today.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasanya Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business with faster transactions and settlements, better cash flow management, plus reduce risk of theft. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Don Sargent, talking with Dr. Nakia Forbes. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but even after May 1st, when the policies change regarding people fully vaccinated, do you think that we will still require, with what you said earlier about the risk still being there and how we're trying to reduce the risk, but do you still think that international visitors to the country will still need or should still be tested even after this policy comes into effect next month?
Well, that has already been said, that those passengers will not be tested. So you should apply then other precautions. So we have to remember that mask wearing, not gathering, there are other ways to mitigate the risk. So I'm just simply stating that the CDC updated information for travels does state that there is an additional risk. There's some travel that's higher risk than others, including possibly international travel because of new variants. And so if that's the decision, then you need to consider, for example, mask wearing for those that are working in and they are these travelers. I would really encourage mask wearing and following other precautions, because there are other ways to reduce getting COVID-19. And like I said, it's about mitigating risk. The public health measures do work. And it's not going to be very, very likely that someone that's fully vaccinated will get and spread COVID-19, but it's not absolutely 0% that.
But if it were up to you, would you continue to require it, or can you answer that?
It's not up to me.
Right. Well, okay. All right. Do you know? We heard Dr. Dallery just speak about this, but do you have any further information about the other vaccines out there and whether people who are still holding out for those, when they will be available, and should we still wait if you are interested in Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson & Johnson?
So I'm sorry that you asked me this with only 3 minutes left. Let me try and keep it brief. The best vaccine is a vaccine that's available to you at the time, across the board with these vaccines. We shouldn't be trying to cherry pick and say, oh, effectiveness, efficacy. That's very, very, you need quite a bit of a scientific background to be able to interpret those things. So these studies happened at different places and different populations at different times. And so results may vary. So what was measured, one should have a little bit of understanding of, and that's the ability to cut down getting COVID and the ability to cut down symptomatic infection and hospitalizations, deaths, and severe COVID. And across the board, vaccines do cut down hospitalizations, severe COVID, and death. That's how you have to look at it. And remember, there are different trials going on that are still ongoing with incoming results that are comparable. And in the face of an ongoing COVID outbreak, if you hold out saying, okay, I'm going to wait for X vaccine. Well, what if that doesn't come for another year or two, but you get COVID? It's always about choices and benefit versus the risk. And the benefit of the vaccines, including the vaccine that is currently being rolled out, is far more than the risk. So I wouldn't recommend cherry picking or waiting it out.
Now, we heard something recently that if you take the first dose of one vaccine and you take the dose of another one for your second, that might work. Do we know more about this? I think we had talked about this the last time you were on the show, but do we know if that is effective? What do we know at this point? Basically, but what do we know at this point?
Well, that wasn't studied last year when these vaccines were being studied, but it is being looked at now. And there are scenarios where somebody may not be able to get the second dose of the vaccine that's the same as the first one they took. And so there are guidelines, recommendations, there are expert guidelines that then you could go ahead and get the second vaccine from another type of vaccine, that would be okay. But scientists right now are looking at would there be more immunity after mixing vaccines, and to exactly answer that question.
And with the numbers that we are seeing here, I know that you are in the hospital as well. What are we seeing? Are we able to handle this surge? We know that was a major concern. Are we in a better shape than we were before from what you can see, what you can tell?
Well, this is what you have to know, that if COVID is surging and continues to surge in any country with things unabated, the healthcare system will be put under pressure. And so even developed countries couldn't be fully equipped for a full COVID surge. You're seeing that. And so the point is, we have to flatten the curve and to make sure we don't get to that point. We're not at our full capacity yet. We don't want to get to that. But no place is fully prepared if it is that COVID is continuing to spread exponentially and cases get to a point that the health system is under pressure and can't manage.
And we're running out of time, but we're hearing in some other places that, especially in the U.S., they're seeing younger people this time around. Are we seeing that here, and what should we know about that? People under 21 even. What do we know about what's happening here in terms of the youth population?
People are being impacted by this third COVID wave in the press conference, the last press conference by COVID Consultative Vaccine Committee. And this could have something to do with patterns of gathering. But everybody is at risk if we're not following the public health measures. And there's a way to reduce your risk of getting COVID-19 and spreading it to others. Those public health measures work.
Yeah. We talked about this earlier about pregnant women, but this person's asking on our text line, what about breastfeeding women? Should they take the vaccine? Is it a risk to the baby?
No, there shouldn't be a risk to the baby. It may even pass on immunity. However, breastfeeding women were not included in those vaccine studies either, hence the question about whether you're pregnant or breastfeeding on the registration form. Might I also add that vaccinations are now open to people 18 years and older. And so as you speak about younger persons being at risk for COVID-19, I really encourage everyone to consider getting their COVID vaccine because it will help to protect you.
Yeah. In our final few seconds, this comes up every time, but many still concerned that AstraZeneca, the vaccine, has not met with FDA approval as yet. Do you know what the holdup is there, and what should we take away from that?
Well, again, you have to know what FDA approval is and what that means. And so across the board, there are many vaccines that actually have emergency use authorization. And so that is, the FDA is the regulatory agency for the United States, but there are other regulatory agencies, for example, Canada, the UK, and Europe, that are using this and other vaccines. And so what happens is at the end of the clinical trials for vaccines and treatment modalities, they can apply for emergency use authorization in the face of a global pandemic or emergency, stating that at the end of their study, with the data they have, that the benefits outweigh the risk and it can be accelerated and thus get emergency use authorization. That doesn't mean that they're not going through the process, the usual process that is happening. And I think that the studies involving this vaccine in the United States are wrapping up and that there is a plan to move to that. But it's you have to be able to interpret that and understand the process, not. But it's you really shouldn't interpret it as something amiss because it's not.
Right. Yeah. Dr. Nakia Forbes, time goes away so quickly, but thank you so much for talking with us. Always a pleasure. Appreciate it.
You're most welcome. Always a pleasure to be with you. Take care and be safe.
Yes, you too. All right. Don Sargent, thank you very much.
Yes.
I will talk with you next week. And stay tuned, folks. We've got Morning Blend Business coming up. And this morning we are talking with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation about the home port opportunities out there. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It's Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Today, we are going to be talking about home port opportunities, and we're going to be talking with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. Recently had a webinar about this, getting some more details about the opportunities out there for Bahamians. So that's coming up this morning. But first, it's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. In your morning business report, despite facing government advocacy against oil drilling, BPC, Bahamas Petroleum Company, Chief Executive Officer Simon Potter says the company still unequivocally believes in the prospects of finding and producing commercial quantities of oil in the Bahamas. Potter was a guest on the Guardian Radio talk show Z Live with Zhivargo Lang yesterday, speaking about the recently announced changes to the company, including its decision to change its name to Challenger Energy Group, and Potter stepping down as Chief Executive Officer to take on a new position as Non-Executive Director. BPC is currently seeking a renewal of its southern licenses for a 3-year period to conduct a third exploration for oil. Although the government has not announced whether it would renew the licenses, Prime Minister Dr. Britt has said that he remains totally against oil drilling in the Bahamas. Asked about the Prime Minister's recent comments, Potter said, quote, "It's not up to me to comment on various political statements. I'm a mere geologist. I go where the rocks have potential. Governments around the world have a duty, if that's the right word to use, to their citizens to evaluate their resources held within their country's boundaries. We were licensed in 2007 to help the then government and subsequent governments assess the volume, the nature, the potential, the scale, the value of the resources within their boundaries." You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian business section. As the government seeks more ways to increase revenue in this economic climate, Royal Bahamas Defense Force Senior Commander Byrne Wright, acting port controller, saying that the port department is in the process of reviewing current boating, shipping, and docking fees with a view to increasing them. Asked how the Bahamas' fee structure compares to similar high-traffic boating destinations, Wright says that there needs to be an adjustment. You can read more in today's Guardian business section. We're saying that it will gift the Access Accelerated Small Business Development Center $250,000 to support a financing program for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in the tourism sector. The Access Accelerated's Executive Director, Davinia Bain, saying that during a webinar to apprise businesses of opportunities available through the Royal Caribbean Home Porting Initiative, that the $250,000 will be dispersed as loans so that the tranche of money continues to grow and support more businesses. Bain saying that the interest rate on those loans will be extremely low. According to an Access Accelerated statement on the disbursement, the funds will be provided to businesses in Grand Bahama, the Berry Islands, and New Providence. Overseas, U.S. President Joe Biden is set to sign an executive order to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour for federal contractors, providing a pay bump to hundreds of thousands of workers. Biden administration officials saying ahead of today's signing that the higher wages would lead to greater worker productivity, offsetting any additional costs to taxpayers. Officials could not so far provide an exact figure on how many workers for federal contractors would receive a raise, only that it would be in the hundreds of thousands. There are an estimated 5 million contract workers in the federal government, according to a posting last year from the Brookings Institute by Paul Light, a public policy professor at New York University. That increase could be dramatic for workers who earn the current minimum of $10.95 an hour. Those workers will receive a 37% pay hike, though the increase will be rolled out gradually, according to the terms of the order. And Apple is following through on its pledge to crack down on Facebook and other Snoopy apps that secretly shadow people on their iPhones in order to target more advertising. The new privacy feature, dubbed App Tracking Transparency, rolled out Monday as part of an update to the operating system powering the iPhone and iPad. The anti-tracking shield, included in iOS 14.5, arrives after a 7-month delay during which Apple and Facebook attacked each other's business models and motives for decisions that affect billions of people around the world. Apple says it's just looking out for the best interests of more than 1 billion people currently using iPhones. Once the software is installed, something most iPhone users do, even existing apps already on the device will be required to ask and receive consent to track online activities. That's a shift Facebook fiercely resisted, most prominently in a series of full-page newspaper ads blasting Apple. Until now, Facebook and other apps have been able to automatically conduct their surveillance on iPhones unless users took the time and trouble to go into their settings to prevent it, a process that few people bother to navigate. That's your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. You are listening to Morning Blend Business. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. When we come back, we're discussing home porting, the opportunities available. That's after this break.
This traffic report brought to you by Shield Insurance.
Final look at traffic this morning. It's been really intense morning for traffic, especially over the past 30 minutes. South of traffic jams and delays. You've had typical morning challenges encountered exiting Gladstone Road. Delays backed up over the hill over there and slowly getting out to JFK. Surmountable on the highway, the worst, with stagnant, extensive backed up dual lanes and a slow crawl getting out there on the Tony's Million Dollar Lane. Carmichael Road improved in the last 5 minutes, a bit faster getting out onto Blue Hill Road. But still, that congestion on top of the hill there at Blue Hill Road, that slows you down getting into the roundabout below, in the Tony's Million Dollar roundabout below, that really slows that Blue Hill Road corridor down. But once you pass the Robinson Road roundabout along Blue Hill Road heading north there, the ride is easier on Blue Hill Road. East Street gets really busy, especially heading north from out of the deep south. Once you go across Soldier Road, the traffic slows a bit, getting through the independent roundabout ahead, and it just slows everything down in that area. Soldier Road is also slow, leaving East Street, but you get your standing line of Soldier Road traffic at that Wolf Road intersection and Burnett Road junction traffic light there. Then that really backs some traffic there on Soldier Road. And then there is the Eastern Road. They've got a serious backup on that single lane coming out of the east. It's heaviest crossing Foxton Road and showing signs of lightening up once you pass Johnson Road. Unfortunately, though, overall across the island, it looks like a number of these routes are going to hang you up for several more minutes. So your timing may be off in terms of where you want to get to or be at a certain time this morning because there's lots of traffic in the streets. This National Traffic Report is service of Bahamas Cooperative League Insurance Brokerage Limited. They're located at Russell Road, Oaksville. BCLIBL offers a great medical plan, general insurance, long-term insurance, and best rates on your car and home. Follow BCLIBL on Facebook or call them at 302-0100. With the Ryan Sky look at traffic in real time, I'm VANN.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you. Begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Someone who gets things fixed. Ask yourself this question: do you want to be rich? I got the brains, you got the looks. Let's make lots of money. You got the brawn, I got the brain. Let's make lots of money. You got the brawn, you got the brain.
We are back here with Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday morning. And as we said, we're talking about home port opportunities that home porting that these cruise ships are going to be sailing through the Bahamas and from ports in the Bahamas, what that's going to mean for local entrepreneurs. Here to talk about this, very pleased to welcome back to the show from the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, Chair Crystal Rutherford Ferguson. Good morning. Great to have you back with us.
Hi, good morning, Dwight. It's a pleasure to be back.
All right. So you had a seminar yesterday. Tell us about that. How many people attended that and what you're hoping to accomplish with that yesterday?
We're so pleased to have hosted the seminar yesterday on the opportunities that came about through this home porting arrangement. We had over 300 persons tuning in, listening to the myriad of opportunities that will come with this. And as a result of that, so much was discussed. We discussed, among other things, the fact that Royal Caribbean's desire is to source as much as possible from the community. And of course, we at the Chamber, we believe in our local business ecosystem. We believe that There are opportunities for the private sector to really get in there and show what they're capable of. The private sector has held the fort down for so long when we did not have a large number of tourists coming here. We continue to hold the fort down, and it's great to see an opportunity like this where the company is desirous of sourcing as much as possible from the local business community.
All right, so let's take a step back. There might actually be people who don't know what we're talking about, but let's take a step back about what's going on here and why we need to, as quickly as possible, show ourselves, prove ourselves, because this might only be a temporary opportunity, but there's a chance that it could be extended. So let's give people some details about what's happening here with the home porting.
Sure. So recently what was announced was that Royal Caribbean will begin home porting in Nassau. What that means is that their ship Adventure of the Seas will begin its voyage here. For the country and the business community, that comes with it everyone flying into our airport at LPIA to have a chance to go on board the ship and enjoy a 7-day cruise within the Bahamas. Of course, with that comes so many opportunities because everyone is flying in here. They're going to have to be transported from the airport to the ship. They may decide to come early to see more of the Bahamas, more of New Providence, and that means certainly that they will have to find places to eat, places to experience everything cultural to the Bahamas. They're going to enjoy our beaches. They're going to visit top historical sites. They consider going snorkeling and the like, really experiencing our aqua adventures. So it's really big. This is a big thing for the country and for the business community to take advantage of all of the opportunities.
Yeah. And I guess depending on how early the ship is sailing, you might need to stay overnight. You might need to find a place to stay.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And that also brings that opportunity as well.
Yeah. All right. So what are you hearing, even before the webinar, what were you hearing from business people, from entrepreneurs, and what did you hear yesterday from people?
So we were hearing that a lot of business persons, entrepreneurs, they're excited about the opportunity. I think that was evident because we had, as I said, over 300 persons tuning in to at least hear about this opportunity and see where they can fit in. What was important, and I think a key highlight of the webinar, was that no business is excluded, particularly not because of size. So any business, small, medium, and large, would be able to offer their services, chance to give or supply, rather, their goods and services for the home porting experience.
Wow. All right. So what came out of yesterday? How will this work? If you do have an idea, how will you get it from just out of your head into a reality and be by June, which is 1 month away?
Yeah, June 12th. So on the webinar, and it is still up on our Facebook page for persons to go there and watch who may have missed out on the opportunity. We were sure to record it to make sure it would be available for persons. But nonetheless, coming out of it was the fact that the team from Royal Caribbean made their email addresses available for everyone on the call who may have questions, who may want to bid for certain goods or services, for them to get in contact with Royal Caribbean. Of course, the chamber too, through our info email address, we would be available to get sure that they are funneled to the appropriate resource.
All right. So let's talk about it some more. Some of the various ideas that we've been hearing and things that you think will be desperately needed, opportunities that people might not have thought about. And I know you might not want to share some of the specific things we're hearing because we know people like to copy here. But let's talk about what's needed, what we really are lacking in terms of our offering, and what we can do better with, especially here in New Providence, and we can get to the Family Islands a little bit later as well.
So a big thing is making sure that our product offerings and goods can be sourced and delivered to the ship in a very sustainable and consistent manner. They spoke about their requirements needed in terms of if there are goods, if there are produce, the produce must be wrapped and put on a pallet before it is delivered to the ship. So things like that is really important when looking at the quality and the sustainability of getting the goods to the ship on time. For them, they made abundantly clear what's important is that quality, consistency, and making sure deliveries are made on time. I'd like Dwight to address with you a little bit more some of the opportunities that will come about from this. So, you know, we've been talking a long time about diversifying the economy.
Definitely.
A big opportunity that can come out of this is looking at how our local growers and producers are able to deliver their produce to a big company. And this is a great opportunity for agriculture to see how best those products could be grown in a very sustainable manner and delivered to Royal Caribbean. So that's big. And then there's also opportunities for wholesalers. There are opportunities for persons in the transporting services, tour operators, and onshore excursion, as well as offshore.
Yes, definitely. All right. So what about on the family islands? What about Grand Bahama and the other islands that they're going to be seeing, not just Royal Caribbean, but Crystal Cruises as well? What are we seeing there? What are some of the opportunities that present themselves there?
I would imagine that the same opportunities would abound. But another thing that we should highlight is the fact that there was a big announcement on the webinar yesterday, which came about as a result of a grant from Royal Caribbean in the amount of $250,000. And this grant is to assist small businesses. It will be administered through the Access Accelerator, but this is a big opportunity for small businesses to have access to capital, which again is an issue that a lot of small and medium-sized businesses talk about.
Yeah, you know, that's been a major challenge. All right. So should we be concerned about the state of downtown at this point and how it's looking? Will that impact, even if we have entrepreneurs with the best ideas in the world, that it's still not that cohesive product? Is that something that we need to be thinking about? And are we going to address it from what you understand?
From what I understand, our environment on the whole is something that we should be constantly aware of. And there's always room for improvement. So if property owners in the downtown area see that there's room for improvement, of course, I would imagine it would be in their contemplation to do so. So we should all take a certain level of pride in our surroundings and make sure that we are presenting our best for the persons who we are marketing to, whether it is our local consumers or international consumers. We should always be putting our best foot forward.
Yeah. All right. Let's take the break. And when we come back, more on this, more on the opportunities. We want to hear from you all as well. What you have in mind, what you're hoping to accomplish. You can call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. We are talking with Crystal Rutherford Ferguson with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, and this is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio.
Hello, sir. Your credit card bill is due. Hello, sir. It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you'll also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Boy, you know what going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Boy, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Boy, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I work?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me. Them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details, or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And we've got your final look at weather for today. We've got a frontal boundary weakening across the central Bahamas while a strong high-pressure system builds over the area. Beachgoers should be alert for possible rip currents along north and east coast shorelines. Right now in Nassau, it is about 78 degrees and fair skies. We're looking at highs getting to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. Your forecast for today for all areas, partly mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with an isolated shower, becoming fair and mild with a passing shower. Tonight, small craft should exercise caution. In your extended outlook, high pressure and fresh breezes are expected to continue over the islands through Friday. So for Wednesday and Thursday, look for partly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with isolated showers, turning fair and mild with a passing shower at night. That's your morning blend weather check.
You can see I'm single-minded. I know what I could be. How'd you feel about it? Come take a walk with me. I'm looking for a partner, regardless of expense. Think about it seriously, you know it makes sense. Let's
are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan speaking with Crystal Rutherford Ferguson with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation about cruise ship home porting and the opportunities that this will present. So, as we said, this is an initiative that actually with the CDC and the no sail order still in effect for Florida. And but we do get the sense that if that were to be lifted, and if the Port of Miami or other ports in Florida are reopened, that we might lose this edge, right? But was that discussed at all yesterday? How much time do we have for this to prove ourselves before folks say, yeah, we need to keep Nassau or Grand Bahama as part of the itinerary, definitely for the home porting? Any indication as to how long we have here before people will say this was a waste of time? God forbid.
So it was explained, Dwight, it was explained to us that Royal Caribbean is committed to 6 months on this particular initiative. And with that, of course, comes an opportunity for the Bahamas to shine. The Port of Nassau has been their top in volume for many, many years. And it's now our opportunity for us to make sure that we are the top in terms of choice. There is no doubt a lot of pent-up demand for traveling, for cruising. And with this, we believe is a great opportunity for the local business community to benefit. And I do want to talk a little bit more about the various procurement opportunities that will, and just to revisit it, it will, if you think about the concept of a hotel, everything a hotel would need to operate is something what this ship will need for home porting. So you consider food and beverage items, you consider seafood and produce and grocery. So when you really look, when you pause and look at the opportunities that are available, it's bountiful. We talk all the time about our local growers and producers. Again, this is an opportunity for them to get in there and get their produce out. There are persons and businesses in manufacturing who make various beverages here. Again, an opportunity for them. And we at the Chamber, we believe in bringing opportunities to the business community through our various partnerships with larger organizations, medium-sized organizations, as well as small. And we have a very good partnership with Royal Caribbean. They're actually one of our patron sponsors. So it was a pleasure for us to bring this opportunity to the local community, the local business community, for them to really explore what's available for them to pitch in and be involved, just to make up some lost revenue for everything that happened in the last 13 months.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about this? Do you think it's needed? I'm thinking that we might need to really put on a show for 6 months. Is that necessary? Is that something that needs to happen where we're really acting like this is our lives depend on it? Is that what's necessary? Are we hearing that kind of discussion at all?
What I think is necessary is us putting our best foot forward, as we usually do. One thing you can say about Bahamians, we show up and we show out. So if given the opportunity, we do what it takes to secure the opportunity to the benefit of not only our businesses, but our families as well. So this is just another opportunity for us to put our best foot forward. We have historically been a destination of choice because of our culture, because of our friendly people. And again, this is coming full circle. This is our time to shine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's get some calls in and some text messages. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, and text us, 422-4796. We talked about this one earlier, but somebody saying home porting is good and all, but what about the look of run-down buildings? This comes up all the time. We mentioned it a few minutes ago as well, Crystal, but I don't know if these are chamber members or what's happening with the abandoned buildings, especially east of East Street. But what can be done? What can the chamber do anything about it? What should be the way forward with this?
When we addressed that topic earlier, I spoke to the fact that it is for the business owners and the property owners to have a look at their product, because they are selling a product too, whether they are leasing it, whether they are the owners of the premises. It's important just to look at your product and make sure that your product is in a position to attract the type of crowd that you want. So we would encourage that sort of review. Have a look at it, see what you can do to improve the look. And where that is possible, where that is needed, move ahead and improve the look of your product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Collaborations. Are we seeing that? Are we hearing you and we don't do the same thing, but we could work together? And do you welcome that? And how would we go about that?
I think the times of having silos have definitely ended.
Yeah.
COVID-19 has demonstrated to us that the world is connected. And keeping in that vein, where there are opportunities to work together, we all should. Certainly from the Chamber's perspective, whenever we have an opportunity to work with another organization or other business owners, we take a hold of that opportunity and we make it count to the benefit of not only our members, but the wider business community. So again, the days of silos are gone. You need to look for opportunities to work together, to form co-ops if that's what's needed to get access to bigger opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. I want to go back to the webinar yesterday. Were they, the people who attended, you said about 300 people, more than 300 people, were they the usual suspects, or did you see people that you'd never seen show interest in something like this before?
Yeah, we definitely saw a mixed bag. It was great to see so many persons. We saw some of our usual supporters who will come out and take a hold of every opportunity that the Chamber puts in front of the business community. But we also saw persons who we had never seen taken a part, participating rather, in one of our webinars before. So that was awesome. And I think what that demonstrate is, it demonstrates that so many business owners and entrepreneurs are looking for these opportunities. And wherever they see that glimmer of hope, where they can benefit, they will tune in and take a hold of it.
Yeah. Is this going to be, are we going to see more of these before June or even after June, more of these type series, the webinars?
We're constantly in communication with other companies and organizations to bring these opportunities to the business community. So I would say you have to stay tuned because it is entirely possible. I'm going to just put a teaser out there. It's entirely possible that you will see more of these before June.
Yeah.
But let's see. And you may see it with some of our other partners as well.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful stuff. All right, so I know we're going to hear more because we have them on with us tomorrow, Access Accelerator, and we're going to hear more about this, I'm sure, from them. But tell us again what you heard from Royal Caribbean about these opportunities for for small businesses, small micro businesses, based on what we heard from RCE yesterday.
So we heard that because they will be home porting in New Providence, it means that all of their guests who will take the voyage will have to come through the airport in the Bahamas. That means a myriad of opportunities for the local business community. That means that there are opportunities for local growers and producers to sell their products to Royal Caribbean, for wholesalers to provide goods, for transporters, because ultimately these persons will have to be transported from the airport to the ship. So that's a big opportunity for transporters. There will be a need for tour operators, for onshore excursions. There are so many opportunities to come earlier, come a few nights earlier, stay in hotels or different lodging, and really take advantage of our natural habitat, go fishing, diving, snorkeling. Again, there will be opportunities for restaurants and other local hangout spots where you will have a chance to really show the fact that you can offer your very best, as we all usually do, and really take advantage of this opportunity. Royal Caribbean, as I said before, has committed to 6 months. This is our opportunity to shine.
Absolutely. Now, so far, the conversation is steered towards products and even services, but we can imagine there's a great entertainment component here as well, as people are going to be looking for fun things to do when they are here. Let's talk more about that, and what do you see as some possibilities there in terms of making sure these visitors have a great time?
Yeah, there's a big opportunity for the orange economy.
Yeah.
You know, we like to color our segments of the economy. So the orange economy, it is a very good opportunity for them in terms of their ability to entertain. We already spoke about the fact that persons may come early. So that means even the opportunity to partner with local restaurants or other places where you can showcase the entertainment talent, which is very rich in this country. We have a lot of great entertainers and artists. So again, coming with that, your opportunity to shine.
Definitely. Absolutely. I hope people are listening. I hope they are paying attention to this very, very closely. All right. So I know that you said that information was given out yesterday. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to see if we can get some of that information out there and more details on how the Chamber of Commerce is going to help entrepreneurs and small businesses as well. We're talking with Crystal Rutherford Ferguson with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. This is Morning Blend Business. We'll take your calls when we get back as well. Stay with us.
Wait, you know what going down tomorrow?
No, babe, what happening?
Joe bringing the knife to school? He could do Junior in? For what? Wait, he fooled with Joe girl?
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you want?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I avoid?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the call go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pin from them, and you can claim a reward later using that same pin.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you send.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details, or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
Hello, sir. Your credit card bill is due. Hello, sir. It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you'll also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to a Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
someone who gets things fixed. Ask yourself this question, do you want to be rich? I got the brains, you got the looks. Let's make lots of money. You got the brawn.
And we are back with our final few minutes of Morning Blend Business, talking with Crystal Rutherford Ferguson with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. Dwight Strachan with you on this Tuesday morning. And we are talking about home porting. The cruise ships are going to be home porting here. We've got Royal Caribbean and Crystal Cruises and possibly even more. We're hearing that Carnival might be considering it as well. So the opportunities are great. As we've been hearing all morning, want to hear from you as well about what you think about this. 323-6232, 4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. Let's take this call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Brother Strachan.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning to your special guest.
Good morning.
Firstly, let me commend the Chamber of Commerce for the initiative. I think it's an excellent opportunity for Bahamians. I have a concern, however, that when we, as Bahamians, make our presentations in whatever area of interest and productivity, we need to ensure that the quality of the presentation and the quality of the entertainment in particular is at a certain level. And so I want to encourage the Chamber to partner with the local entertainment community. I've had this conversation at the tripartite council level, and we've been agitating, trying to get an audience with those persons who are responsible so that we can ensure that whatever is presented, and as Ms. Ferguson said, this is a tremendous opportunity for us to showcase the Bahamas. And this is historic in that we are home porting, I think, for the first time. We need to make sure that whatever we present is certainly as the quality that we would wish to showcase to the world. The experience is what is important here, Dwight. They must be ensured of a Bahamian experience. And so I want to encourage, not only do we offer them online activities, but 90% of the time they're going to be on the ship. We need to ensure that the entertainment on the ship is of Bahamian in culture and heritage, and so that they have a Bahamian experience. It should be a party, a Bahamian party throughout the excursion. And so I would like very much to perhaps network with the Chamber. As I said, I have there's some representatives on the National Tripartite Council, and we will have this conversation. But I think we need to partner, as you said, and make sure that whatever we do is at a level of quality that we can be proud, and make sure that this is an ongoing. It should not just be during the time of crises. But this is one good thing that could come out of this, and that it should certainly be advantageous for those cruise ships to only benefit them more if they continue this being a Bahamian experience.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Interesting comments there. Well, I hear, I don't know how you're going to do that with the entertainment on the ship, but as we said, the opportunities for people who have to stay over, especially if the ship is leaving, sailing early in the morning, they're more likely going to have to come the previous day, or maybe for some, depending on how far they're traveling, a few days earlier. But that's where the opportunities lie. Do we have any say? Are we at that level of discussion? Do we have a say when the ship sails? Because if it is early, they're definitely going to have to come in the day before, at least. Do we have any say at all in that? Do we know yet, Crystal?
You're asking if we know when the ship will sail?
Yeah, the time of day that it sails. Anything like that? Is that
We don't know that aspect of it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that there are discussions regarding it.
Mm-hmm.
We can inquire about that and make that information known. But one thing I can say from my involvement with this particular initiative and having worked with Royal Caribbean as a patron sponsor of the Chamber, they appear to be very minded to support the local economy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that discussions of that nature can be had.
Absolutely. Okay, wonderful. Let's take another call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Glenn. How you doing, man?
Doing well.
Wonderful, wonderful. And your guest. I've been listening now for the past 13 minutes, and it's exciting. The idea of our port being renovated and we're spending this much money and investing into our product, it is great. We're modifying our product. But here it is, we've got to include those younger people. For example, those that beat steel drums or can learn, those that is at the dance institution, that Junkanoo group that they call Colors, that's full with youth. What I'm trying to say is that we've got to invest now into them, put them out there, that the product may grow, okay, and when it gets to that fruition, that harvest, they're still there, and it's going forward. Because see, the gentleman called earlier, he sounds a little bit senior, and I've heard him for quite a while pushing and wanting stuff to happen for Bay Street and stuff like that. But then it seems as if he's getting into difficulties with administration, and they're taking long to put it into it. So then invest into the youth. See if they're serious about our culture. You see, because there's only that keeps the cruiser. Yes, they're going to be based here, but you're going to be based here, and nobody is going to come off the ship to really enjoy our culture. And there's something they've got to come for. And naturally, before now, years ago, that smile, that courtesy, that real culture, that's what the world came for. So we've got to reinvest in that. Thanks for letting me share.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Well, this goes back to what you're saying, Crystal, right? We have to put our best foot forward as we know how to do. This is the time to be doing it.
And Dwight, more broadly speaking, investing in the youth is the way to go because the youth is the future. Mm-hmm. So every opportunity as well to invest in young persons should be taken. I can also add that the world is a much smaller place because of technology as well. And in the same vein as putting our best foot forward, we have to appreciate and acknowledge that though we may be showcasing our talent for persons enjoying adventure of the seas, the fact remains that those persons can videotape what they're experiencing, and the reach of those clips are endless.
Oh, yes. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Can you imagine if they videotape their experience at a food truck or something like that and just put out there, people say, I have to go there to have that same experience, something like that. That's a priceless ad right there. You couldn't pay for that.
Exactly.
Let's take this final call, and then we'll let you have the final word, Crystal. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight. I'm very pleased and happy to hear about the incoming port activity, the opportunities that it's going to present for local Bahamians, business-wise and otherwise.
Yes.
However, I'm a little bit concerned about the increased activities that the cruise ships are bringing in our waters, and whether any thought is being given to a level of pollution that may result from these various cruises through the Bahama Islands. Whether the Chamber of Commerce has anyone who has an eye out for that, and to ensure that we're not gaining on one side and losing on the other side. It's just a thought that I wondered whether some thought is being given to that also.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you very much. Crystal, do you have any answer to that?
Sure. I want to thank this caller and the previous callers for their questions. With regard to the last question, we at the Chamber, we do have a very vibrant and informed Energy and Environment Committee. And throughout the many years that we've had this committee, we have held organizations, companies to account in that regard. So it's always important for us to look at the balance. It is important to have these types of discussions, but you also have to acknowledge that there must be things put in place to mitigate against any disadvantages that may seem apparent. So that is, I'm sure, an internal discussion for Royal Caribbean. It is something that the Chamber's Energy and Environment Committee continues to look at, not only in just the cruising industry, but overall, we need to make sure that there's a certain level of protection of our natural assets. And we continue to keep an eye out for that type of issue.
Wonderful. All right, 30 seconds. How can people reach out to the chamber, get more information about home porting and about the assistance that is available?
So to get more information on this great opportunity, you can visit the Facebook page of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. It's the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce is the handle. We're also over all of the other social media outlets, Instagram, as well as LinkedIn. Our email address is info@thebahamaschamber.com. We also have a website, which is www.thebahamaschamber.com. That's a very good way for us to get in contact with us and benefits that will be shared among the local business community.
Yeah.
We really believe in our business community, and we're grateful for the opportunity to continue to wave the flag on their behalf and speak to their issues and needs.
Thank you so much, Crystal Rutherford Ferguson. Thank you for talking with us. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Looking forward to talking with you again, folks. This is the time. If you have the ideas, this is the opportunity. This finally is a chance for us to really, really show what we can do here. If you haven't started thinking about it, get those wheels in your brains turning now. This is coming up, and we have a short window to prove ourselves. But that's it for today. We're going to have more of these conversations over the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. But that's it for Morning Blend Business this morning. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.